Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That's Eric over there.
Hello.
That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
I'm Kelly. Hey guys, if you go onto the Strange Eons Radio Talk page on Facebook, which Eric put up and we all interact with,
Yes.
Eric spoke about a movie and I said, hey, be honest with me. Am I going to like this? And Eric got really snarky and said, you'll probably be furious.
Furiously happy?
He just said furious. And I realized that he was making a joke that that I'm an angry guy. So I did watch the movie and I did not like it. But Eric, I'm not furious. I'm livid.
Oh my God.
I'm absolutely livid over this movie that you had nice things to say about.
I feel like that
Nice
describes you even better.
Let's
You're
see,
like grumpy and angry at the same time.
I believe I used the word decent to describe it. And if you don't like the first 20 minutes, you're not going to like the whole movie.
I did like the first 10 minutes.
So yeah, I don't know if I'd call it decent. And then I also, if you read through the thread, I said, you should pass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. But once you say that, I take it as a challenge.
That's right.
Wow.
And every time I'm like, I'm going to love this. I
I'm
just know I'm going to
learning
love it.
so much about how to manipulate you right now. This is excellent
I
fodder.
am very easy to manipulate.
And Jason, made it more intriguing with pointing out who directed it.
Right. We're not going to mention the movie, but if you want to know what we're talking about, you have to go to Strange Eons Radio Talk.
Oh, okay. So this isn't the movie you're going to talk about.
No, because I'm furious at you, Vanessa.
What?
You mentioned a movie that I watched
Okay.
called Talk to Me.
Yeah.
And I think you said that it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking amazing and absolutely terrifying. It scared me.
It is scary. Isn't it scary?
I watched it. It's available to rent now. I watched it in the darkness of my room and I was like, I should turn lights on. This movie is fucking terrifying.
You know what? I saw it in a movie theater full. It was like a preview screening. And I think that helped because it plays on this fear of loneliness.
Yes.
And I think if I had been alone, it would have been so much worse.
It is at its core basically just a mix of Flatliners and It Follows.
Yeah.
But it is so creepy and scary and I was just like, holy cow, what a movie.
Did you have the experience? So the first maybe 10 minutes of this movie, I was watching it and I was like, oh no, it's going to be one of those real bad Australian horror movies. Real bad. Oh no. And then once it got into it, I was like, oh, okay, this movie's actually going to be, as you said, incredible, really good. But I had a moment where I was like, oh no, it's like the teenagers and their banter and their drunk kids. I
went into it with you saying it was pretty good, so I guess I didn't have that fear. Okay. And it's gotten some pretty crazy good reviews.
Yeah.
So I just went in knowing that I was going to be in for a treat. I thought I would get a good scary movie. I did not realize I would be scared.
Yeah, it sticks with it. I still have moments of that film sticking with me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Available to rent. Talk to me.
Watching this very soon.
Already, they've got a sequel coming out. Or they've got a prequel, I guess, that they've already shot.
Oh, shit.
Is it called Look Who's Talking to Me?
No, but ironically you say that. They did the stupidest thing ever. The sequel is Talk Number 2, Me. Talk to me. I'm like, oh no.
I mean,
on.
Look, if that branch is just so low it smacks you in the face, you might as well go home with it, right? Well, I haven't seen as much as I normally would like to from week to week, but I did finish up the Afterparty season 2.
Ah, me too.
Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
The first season was better, but I thought this was
You
good.
know, yeah, I think the first season had some like really delightful twists and turns
Yeah.
with some of the genres they picked in this
The
one.
overarching
little-
story of the first one I thought was better.
Mhm.
Some of the individual episodes in season 2 were more fully realized and more
Yeah,
fun. But so overall, both good seasons, I thought.
I really enjoyed when they went for it with the Wes Anderson episode.
Yeah, that was good.
I was like, yes. And they like got it. They like got it. I was like, I am watching a Wes Anderson production right now. The soap opera one felt like a little bit of a miss to me. Like I just didn't read.
It went real heavy. I mean, real over the top. With
Yeah, it just didn't read in the right way. I think they could have had more fun with it.
Oh, and the Alfred Hitchcock one, I couldn't quite tell if
It
they
took
liked him or
forever.
hated Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Because it felt like they were, when they did the titles, I kind of thought, oh, I think this is going to be Hitchcock. But then it almost felt more like they were making fun of other people's suspense movies from that time period. It's very, very weird.
It took me a while to figure out it was Hitchcock for sure until we saw the guy who looks like Hitchcock show up. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what this is now. But like it almost didn't read quite correctly. Yeah. And have you seen any of the Afterparty?
I still haven't watched it.
Okay, so for any of you who haven't watched it, you know, it's each season is a murder mystery at some event or another. Season 1 is at a high school reunion after party, and this one is at a wedding after party. And each episode is kind of structured around this, a genre. So season 1 you had like a Fast and the Furious style, and season 2, season 1 they went through a lot of the main ones like a musical and animation and all that kind of stuff. And this one they're reaching a little bit further, but I did really like the actors they got in season 2. There's some really fun people they threw in the mix.
Yeah, so. And the 3 people that transferred to the new one, still. Really, that lead guy is just fantastic, and so is the detective.
So good, and he was in Wolves, not Wolves Among Us, Wolves something Wolves.
Played a cop.
Werewolf movie that we all liked last year.
Right. What is this on?
This is on Apple Plus.
Okay.
Or Apple TV or whatever the heck they're calling it.
Well, let me pull us back down into the depths of crappy movies.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Someone that gives Andy Mulligan might watch and go, really, dude? This filmmaker from the 80s who basically did short films. I think most of his stuff is like 15, 20 minutes or less. And they're on YouTube. It's Dance, like spelled like dancing. Dance Macabre by Win Vink. It's a stage name or anything like that, but somebody didn't have a name down, but introduced me to this on the 100 Days. I was like, well, let's go check this out. And spectacularly awful.
Oh,
just wow. Yeah, it's only 12 or 15 minutes, so it doesn't. Sometimes you watch those bad movies and they're great for about an hour, and then okay, you're losing me, but. So yeah, if you're looking for some real shit, Michael, I'm looking at you. I'm gonna throw one back at you, Michael DeBronzo. Go watch some Win Vic movies on YouTube. Let's see what you think.
My God,
this is a short film, then.
Yeah. All this stuff is short. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them.
And they're available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does this count towards your 100 movies?
I did it. I made it count.
Already gaming the system.
It's 15 minutes he will not get back.
First time he's decided to actually follow it all the way through, and he pulls this kind of shit.
Yeah, right. One time. I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, my discovery of excellent movies continues. I feel like I've been very, very lucky for the last couple of weeks. Mm. And I rented The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster.
I was wondering how that was.
Also on my list.
It's also very good.
Cool.
It is a pretty blatant Frankenstein story, and it's got an urban setting. It's got a lot of gore. It's got the police being horrible to black people, and then gangs and drugs and a Frankenstein monster.
So this isn't going to be. Is it like a hard R? Do you think, or? Just from the premise, I was like, oh, it's going to be kind of like a cutesy, like children's.
It is not a cutesy children's thing. No, it is It's a legit horror flick,
Okay.
a retelling of Frankenstein in an urban setting.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really
Incredible.
good. Female director. The lead actress, I think she's got an issue that goes against her in that she looks very young, but
Mm.
she is playing like a college student,
Mm.
and she's brilliant. She's basically
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. So she comes up. She's got this theory that death is a disease
Oh,
and it can be cured.
Oh.
And then she spends the rest of the movie proving that, and it's pretty dang good. I liked it.
Wow. What did you catch that on?
It is a rental, but it's a rental on everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's $6.99 Prime,
Cool.
YouTube, and Amazon.
Apple and
I love when
Amazon.
the price shifts from like $20 or whatever to
Yeah.
$7.
Yeah.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that only took a week.
If I just tell Amazon to give me this one item 1 week later than expected, it will be $5.99.
Right.
So, speaking of gaming the system, so I saw a film that I hadn't seen since theaters. I don't believe I've talked to you guys about it. I watched White House Down again.
Oh, the action
The
film.
Roland Emmerich.
Which one is that? The Gerard Butler one or
No.
Oh, okay.
They came out at the same
Yeah,
year,
the-
same like I think a couple months
the hell
away
is
from
his
each
name?
other. It's Channing Tatum
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the other the star who plays the president in it.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Jamie
I think so too.
Fox. Yeah, it really. I remember at the time watching it and being like, "This movie is dumb, but it's fun enough, but it's nowhere near as good as the typical Roland Emmerich stuff that I love." Rewatching it, it's fucking awesome. It's so goddamn good.
I'm not sure you're right about that.
No, I am.
It's
It's
just
fine.
the Roland Emmerich glaze over the glasses is good and strong.
Look, it's so much better than, I don't know, Moon. Like,
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's better, I think even better than Midway, which, I thought was, a lot of people gave it shit, and it didn't deserve the
I
shit it
love
got.
Midway.
Yeah, I think this is a stronger film than that. The thing that I missed the first time around, because I didn't enjoy Channing Tatum when I watched this, because he was just some hunk that everybody was drooling over, and I was like, well, that's gross, because muscles are gross, and you're gross, and he can't act, and blah, blah, blah. And regardless of his acting ability, which I think is actually okay in this, his physicality is insane, because he is a big dude, but he's running around and scrambling through this whole film across like floors and up elevator shafts, and he looks like a cat. He looks like he weighs nothing. And the way he moves is so unique that obviously this guy's a dancer. It's just so cool to watch him sort of perform on this next level. I mean, he makes most action stars look like lazy mofos who sit on their couch with potato chips. Like,
Wow.
nobody has this guy's moves.
Up next on Strange Hands Radio, Magic Mike.
I
actually
gotta
think this
say,
is a little bit of a dark movie, but that's okay.
Oh, well, yeah, it's Steven Soderbergh, so
Yeah.
the odds are good.
Yeah.
it's nice to see you like falling in love in real time.
I mean, and of course, I cannot stop. I need the world to know that the most patriotic, American patriotic filmmaker our country has possibly ever seen is German. And there's something so beautiful about that. He gets it. If you want to see a giant American flag waving in a movie, this German man will do it for you.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember liking the other one more, Gerard Butler one.
Right.
But I'm glad that's cool that you
But
liked it so much.
It's so like whatever. It's just an action movie. It's fine. And then there's two more that get progressively worse and worse and
Oh,
worse.
that's true.
Yeah, very solid. But yes, that was my birthday treat to myself was to watch.
Oh, good.
White House Down.
Glad it went well.
Thank you.
Because, could have gone the other way. It's like, God, I thought this was at all good. Kind of like the movie I watched.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Wait for this one. We're returning to the Mike DeBrazio list of like 12 movies I think he sent me now.
Mm.
But this one joins the epic bad movie Hall of Fame. awesome. Night of the Demon.
Oh boy.
Have you seen this one, the Sasquatch movie?
I have.
It is
From like 1980 or something like that.
something like that. It is awful and awesome in its awfulness because it is ridiculous. It is so over the top. The gore is excessive and at the same time awful.
Right.
Very, very strange, like orange tinted blood through a large portion of it, with the epic famous scene of pulling off a part of a motorcyclist peeing on the side of the road. You can fill in the blank on what gets torn off. Although Severin did immortalize it in a sticker.
Oh my God.
And I enjoyed the hell out. It is so much fun to watch.
Wow.
It's got this ridiculous guy who spends the whole movie pontificating on all his ideas, and he spews all the concepts and the ideas of, well, this one time in this story that happened, I heard about, and he tells the story of the motorcyclists and tells another story of some other people, like 2 Girl Scouts that got killed by
Oh my God.
2 Girl Scouts that I'm pretty sure were 25. But and it's wow.
Remind me, it's a Pacific Northwest horror, right? Isn't it set up in Washington or Oregon?
I thought I think it's definitely Northwest.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was Canada,
Okay.
but I don't remember. But it's definitely Northwest Woods.
Yeah. Wow. You have I sense a new So Bad It's Good
Could be, yeah.
episode
Yes.
coming up soon from
There's
Eric.
definitely. I'm a little worried after this one of the other ones he sent because it's going to be hard to keep up with this, man. This is top shelf shitty movie.
Yeah, DeBronzo, it's like he's got these all filed away somewhere as weapons to hand out to people. Oh, you should try this one.
He sent one to me the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, I talked about that one on like, I looked it up, like episode 50 something. It's like, yeah, I know this one. By the lady who did Blood Diner. I forgot the name of the film, but it was Idaho based. Oh, The Being.
Oh, yeah. I think I spoke about The Being on one of our episodes. So, okay, well, why don't we take a little break? And then when we come back, we're digging into Sci Fi September.
Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars saga began, and Kenner continues the excitement.
Chewbacca's
Marv! It's C-3PO that you can take apart, and other action figures each sold separately.
Take me to Han Solo and Princess Leia. What happened? Han, Leia, sneak attack. I'm all in pieces. What a mess. Put him down, Chewie. How's that, C-3PO? Wonderful.
Han Solo, C-3PO with backpack and other action figures each sold separately from Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
And we're back. Hey, Eric, why don't you tell us about Sci Fi September?
That's what it is. It's Sci-Fi September. Of course, there's only 2 weeks left, so it's going to be a short Sci-Fi September, but we'll get at least 2 fun episodes of sci-fi movies.
Of us just picking anything that falls into the sci-fi genre.
Yes, that's right.
I love this idea so much.
We should do it every September.
We should do it every September.
I had a side note on sci-fi things. I had dinner with the family last night. My nephew comes in and goes, I like Star Trek. I've been watching Star Trek Next Generation. It's so good.
Oh,
I figured you'd appreciate that.
My heart just grew 3 times.
How old is he?
21.
He's a child. That's great. That's awesome. He's experimenting with things, and I approve.
Nerd.
That's right. Well, yeah.
Eric, I'm going to put 10 minutes on the buzzer if you want to start us off.
Good to go. All right. I'm talking about a 2022 film called Rubicon.
When I was young, astronauts were like gods.
Well, when you were young, countries existed too.
Abushka, it's enough. You had enough of it.
Commander Wagner? Давай.
Jensen, what's going on? Rubicon to ground control. Ground control, do you read? Does anybody hear us? Anyone?
You need to lay down.
This fog is toxic. Nobody can survive this.
We're safe here.
The algae gas exchange works.
I can survive.
Fought so hard for a planet that doesn't exist anymore.
They can't be dead.
Hello? We don't have much oxygen left.
These people need our help. If we could bring your algae down there,
We could save 300 lives.
Flying down? Are you out of your mind?
So what, we do nothing? We just watch them die? Have you gone completely crazy in that lab?
You don't get to talk to me about crazy, mister.
either you come with us or you stay.
Go away! Come on!
Do you really think they would give you their algae if it was the other way around?
It's your job to keep us alive.
You're a good person.
You know that this is right.
You're not gonna dodge it!
Spelled with a K. So the Rotten Tomatoes is a fun one. 35 from critics, 77 from the crowd.
Wow.
So interesting disparity. This is directed by Magdalena Loritz, first feature film. Written by same lady, first feature film. Also written by Jessica Lynn, first feature film. Based on a book by Elizabeth Schmid. Starring Julia Franz Richer, who's Mermaids Don't Cry. Whatever Wanda Jurassic Park is.
Wanda Jurassic Park?
Wanda Jurassic Park.
Wow.
And Murder by the Lake. George Blagden, who is in Troy, a Total War Saga.
Okay.
And 30 episodes of Vikings. So he's done some work. Mike Ivnar, 7 episodes of The New Pope. Many Call of Duty voices over lots of the games. And tons of TV and video. He's got like 150 some odd credits. So it starts with his opening statement. In 2056, the world environment has been deteriorated beyond a critical state. Only the rich can afford to live in air domes, which filter the contaminated outside air. Big corporations have replaced governments and states. Conflicts over resources and territorial borders are resolved by the corporate armies. All attempts to find refuge in space have failed. One space station is left, still searching for solutions.
Ooh.
And that space station is Rubicon.
With a K.
Anyways, so starts with a nice little kind of actiony scene in space where the new people are coming on board the space station structure to, it's not really clear at this point, but their AI instruments malfunction, so they have to take over. And they're like, are you sure you can do this? It takes many smart calculations that AI usually does very easily. Of course, she does just fine watching it. But when when she's coming in, the guy inside there notices she's got a tattoo or something behind her ear. It's like, oh no, this is a soldier. So he's not. So he really doesn't know why she's on board, even though he thought she did before. Send out a team to bring some information back down to the ground after there's a few scenes of introduction and people wandering around. The AI goes out again. This time they lose the entire, presumably the shuttle falls and explodes and everybody on board dies.
Oh.
So that leaves just like there's 3 main characters left. There's, as soon as shortly after the crash happens, they show a shot of, assuming it's Earth, but, and all the lights start going out. So all the power on Earth has disappeared, trying to figure out why. They have discovered something very interesting for the preservation of life on Earth. There is an algae that they're growing that can very quickly recycle CO2 to make it oxygen and clean it, and it does it very efficiently, so efficiently that everybody on the space station, this is how they breathe, is with this algae now.
Okay.
One of the guys, once everything disappears and they've lost contact with Earth, nobody's talking to anybody. So one of the people gets completely despondent and tries to kill himself. And they stop him from doing that. And then there's the big drama of why you can't kill yourself, because for this algae to work, you need at least 3 people present. You need the breath of 3 people that can produce enough oxygen to keep at least 3 people alive. If there's only 2 of us, it won't work. So if you kill yourself, you kill us too.
Oh, wow. What a contrived notion.
Yeah, that's so he gets over that, and then seemingly gets over it more because he starts sleeping with the soldier. So, you find your ways of surviving on that, and
This seems like a needlessly complicating story element.
yes,
Okay.
sort of. Well, sort of. It does lead to something.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a soldier, so she's not supposed to get pregnant. So guess what happens?
She doesn't get pregnant.
Right, exactly.
I got it.
That's exactly
You
it.
sussed it out.
No pregnancy for you. But so the let's see, let's go with the rest of the movie here before I start diving into talking about it. The planet is covered with a fog. They figure out that is killing everyone. As far as I know, it may have killed everybody on the planet. For a while during the movie, they're basically the 3 people trying to exist and have fun. They watch movies. It's like, well, if you can't access the internet, we've watched our entire catalog of films. Like, so watch something again. But and they also can make an alcohol out of the algae, so they make some alcohol, and that goes okay. It's fine. They're good. They're all really good actors. The performances in this are definitely solid. But then one day they get a call. What will it mean? What will happen after this? Let's see. It's like,
hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
Hey,
the
what's
call
up,
coming
man?
from Earth?
How's
Is the
it
call
going?
coming from inside the space station? Is it coming from
the
inside?
space station.
Is it coming from inside the algae?
No, it's from the planet. There's 300 people that have lived. So they need to figure out the rest of the story is basically the existential dread of can we save these people with the algae? Can we transport it and survive? And a variety of things like that are going on. So it's fine.
Okay.
Wow.
There's some taglines before I get a little deeper into that. Take a deep breath. It is your last.
Woof.
What is worth living for? What is worth dying for? I'm not sure if that was an actual tagline or just somebody on IMDb sticking something in, because that seemed weird.
Yeah.
It was shot in Austria, but the film is in English. So everybody's got these heavy Austrian accents. It's a little unusual. The acting, like I said, overall the acting is good. Sometimes it shallows the gravity of the situation where it's like, you don't really seem like you care about this. Or if it's supposed to be your training, keeping you calm, you're not making that clear enough. You need to find that middle ground and let us know what's going on. The storyline needed some help in the timing. It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes long or something like that.
Oof.
And the removal of an existential crisis or 2 and cutting the film down would have made this a pretty decent film. It languishes a lot at times. It's still good, and it was kind of shooting for that Solaris kind of film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a high bar to mark as far as the talent of a director. But so it doesn't quite get there. So I think if they trimmed it down a little bit, it would have helped a lot. For a first-time feature, holy shit, a lot was done really well. So I hope she continues to do more movies. It is a little weird because I don't know if it's lost in translation or it's a European version of saying the word, but algae is pronounced as algae through the whole movie. Like, for a little while, it took me to figure out what the hell are they talking about? And then I looked it up and go, oh, algae. Okay, I got it now. But it is definitely done in the vein of a 70s style smart sci-fi that moves at kind of a slow pace and unfolds. A little bit more pacing, I think, would have helped it. But it's one of those real frustrating movies where you can see there's some real talent here,
Mhm.
but it's just needed somebody to maybe take a pass at the script. Overall, worth seeing if you really love sci-fi movies that move at a slow pace. The movie, The Rubicon, comes from the Latin of the ancient Rubicon in northeastern Italy, famously crossed by Julius Caesar in 49 BC, which is the origin of the phrase crossing the Rubicon, an idiom that means that once is passing a point of no return. So
I've never heard that phrase.
Mm-mm.
the Rubicon? Yeah, no.
Passing the Rubicon. No.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So like a bunch of TV show called Rubicon, I think it was, and a movie or two dealing with that concept, that idea of the Rubicon. There's even a Jeep named the Rubicon, which I never really understood.
Is that like
Point of no return.
That's right.
is that like gleaming the cube? Passing the Rubicon.
I don't think so.
In my head, they will be forever linked.
That's fine. I understand.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was
That's
disappointing.
what's that on?
What is that on? Few things. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Amazon.
Okay.
Mm.
And what year was this? You say 2019?
2022.
2022. Okay. All right.
Real new.
Vanessa, you want to go next?
I do want to go next. So I love this topic not only because sci-fi. I mean, come on, it is the king of genres. So good. But also, it gave me a chance to open up my Arrow edition of The Last Starfighter.
Alex Rogan lives in a small trailer park in the California mountains. He has a dream to go to college.
You guys think I'm gonna hang out here, watch you shine your pickup? Forget it, man. I'm doing something with my life.
Start a career.
You really are leaving here, aren't you?
Of course I'm going away. We're both going away.
Both of us, Alex.
And most of all, to get out.
You get your chance. Important thing is when it comes, you gotta grab it with both hands.
Then, one night, a mysterious stranger offers Alex an opportunity he never dreamed of.
Who are you?
I'm Centauri, and you may... No, you must trust me implicitly. Get in.
Nothing Alex Rogan has ever imagined could prepare him for what he is about to experience.
Hey.
Why was Alex chosen? And will he ever return?
Where are we going? Trust me. Oh, you're gonna love it. Love it. Look out! Oh, dear.
The Last Starfighter. His adventure in space is about to begin.
Ah, very nice.
From 1984, which I had never watched.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, it should be. Watching it, it was also insane to me. Rotten Tomatoes score, this film has 76% from critics and 70% from audience. A budget of $15 million and a box office of $29 million in North America only. This is directed by one Mr. Nick Castle.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, 13 credits to his name. I saw his name show up and I was like, that's The Shape.
Yeah, that's weird.
The Shape is doing this. He has directed The Boy Who Could Fly, Dennis the Menace, Major Payne, and Mr. Wrong. He wrote Hook. He actually wrote August Rush and Escape from New York. And of course, he acted not only as The Shape in Halloween, but he also played The Shape in all of David Gordon Green's Halloweens. And he plays Alien in Dark Star. So fun. Written by Jonathan R. Butel, who has 5 credits to his name, including Theodore Rex, Freddy's Nightmares, 1 episode, and My Science Project.
Jeez.
Yes, weirdly not a strong writer. Starring Lance Guest, 52 credits. Now this guy, it's strange because he has a lot of charisma and it's like, man, this guy obviously must have gone on to have a lavish career. Well, he did Halloween 2, Jaws the Revenge, The Roommate, The Wizard of Loneliness, and a lot of TV walk-on roles, including a couple of recurring ones in Knots Landing and Life Goes On. He apparently went into the theater after Last Starfighter, quote-unquote, made no money. It was interesting because it was like in his very long-winded IMDb profile. And I was like, there's a story here and I don't know what it is. And I wish somebody had written it because I'm curious. He obviously has some grapes, some sour grapes. Dan O'Harely, 137 credits to his name, plays Grigg. 50s films and early TV walk-on roles. And then he was the old man in RoboCop. And 6 episodes of Twin Peaks. He played Andrew Packard. Also, I would know him as Colonel Cochran in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. He is a delight in this film. He is incredible. We also get Robert Preston, 76 credits. He was in The Music Man, How the West Was Won, a lot of early 40s films, a very recognizable face, and Catherine Mary Stewart, 77 roles, including 150 episodes of Days of Our Lives, Night Flyers, Weekend at Bernie's, and Regina in Night of the Comet. So I actually saw her in an elevator a few times at Crypticon this year. So I was like, she was very recognizable. Now I know why. The story follows Alex Rogan, who lives in the world's best trailer park. The community is this tight-knit, it looks like summer camp. It's so fun. Everyone's so happy, living their best lives. Everything's like, it's not that it's nice, like high end, but it's clean and it's bright and poppy. They all kind of greatly depend on him though for help with their electrical issues and things like the power going out or their cable going wonky. He's the one they call, and he's pretty young. So he is ready to escape and go to college, get out of here, and ideally bring his girlfriend Maggie with him, who it takes a while for the film for you to figure out she is this girlfriend. For a while you're like, are you together? Are you not together? And then they're really together. Anyway, one day, however, he's asked to help out with some trouble happening with some power stuff and the trailer park, and his friends all go off to the beach, and he hangs around all day long, does all this stuff, and then afterwards goes up to this arcade game near this sort of little mini mart at the top of this hill overlooking the trailer park, and he just dabbles away at it's just called Starfighter. Yeah, just called Starfighter game. So he's playing around, no big deal, and all of a sudden somebody looks over his shoulder and they're like, oh my God, you're about to beat the high score. He's like, oh, snap. And the whole community, mostly old people, all gather around this arcade machine and watch this guy play as he knocks it out of the park. He celebrates, but it's a little bit short-lived because then he discovers that he did not get the loan he needed to go to college. So he is super upset, runs off to be alone, and then is scooped up by a guy in a very space-age car that's not a DeLorean. At all. Not even meant to look like one. The guy says, hey, I invented the game. I want you to hop in. I got a surprise for you. He's like, okay. He gets in. The guy kidnaps him and takes him to a faraway planet where there is a galactic war between Xando Zan and a mercenary fleet and this planet of people from something called, I think it's Race or Rains or something. Anyway, some planet. So he declines and says, I do not want to join your starfight. I would like to go home now. But starfighters are like super elite. So they're kind of like, why would you turn this down? This is like an honor. And your planet's going to be in danger eventually. And he's like, no, I'm going to go back to Earth. So they go, the guy who kidnaps him goes to bring him back. But when he gets there, he discovers that there have been assassins sent to murder him because Xando found out about him. So he needs to kind of kick it into gear and go ahead and help with these starfighters and save maybe the planet, maybe his galaxy, maybe who knows what. But as they return, it turns out that all of the other guys are murdered. All the other starfighters are killed in a big bomb. So
no, does that make him the last starfighter?
It does. It does make him the last starfighter. My God. So him and his co-pilot Grigg, not Greg, which it sounds like through most of the film. It's not. I was like, why is this alien named Greg? Nope, it's Grigg. Grigg. Go and try to stop him with their very clever, really truncated action scene. Will Maggie figure out that Alex was swapped with a clone robot who is super not into girls? Will, Alex's little brother, ever stop sucking at the game every time he grabs the controls, not immediately lose? Will he manage to save the universe, return to Earth, and guilt Maggie into leaving, the only home she's ever known, to go hang out in a super weird alien community where she'll probably never be happy or fit in? Stay tuned. This was a really fun film. I really enjoyed it. I just wish that I'd seen it as a kid instead of as an adult.
Yeah.
I think that not having that nostalgia, it harms it. But it is so jam-packed with things just happening throughout that even though it takes a long time to get to the fights, I was like still really entertained. I love the B story of this of his beta, which is like the guy who's taking over his body on Earth and trying to do all the stuff for him on Earth, and he just kind of sucks at everything.
Right.
But he's like also trying to be like a decoy for all these assassins that keep showing up and like trying to murder him. Greg is great. He's super, super fun. Great actor. The graphics, I'm sure at the time, were so advanced. They look really advanced for that moment. They are so bad for now.
Well, here's something I find amusing a lot of times when you read millennials and Gen Zers talking about the effects of that time. It's like, yeah, we also at the time thought they were kind of cheesy and weird looking.
That's good. I was wondering. I was like, were people like blown away by like the planet is just this big brown mass with like one station on it, like one square white station.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
I mean, there are the exceptions like
silly.
Tron and of course Jurassic Park, where it's like, oh my god. But yeah, this is definitely like, whew. Miniatures might have been the way to go still.
100%. 100%. I will say it is made up for, not to an extent, with the set design, because the sets of the interior of the space station and the trailer park are so well lived in. They look just really fun. The aliens are all insane and uniquely designed. None of them are wearing their special helmets because their heads will in no way fit in there. And the music is a lot. The music is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's very Spielbergian. It's very like over the top. I'm like, I know what emotions I'm supposed to feel. A little bit of trivia for you. I'm probably going to run out of time, but tagline: Alex Rogan was a small town boy with big time dreams. But in his wildest dreams, he never suspected that tonight he would become the last starfighter. Woohoo! I have more. I have a few more. Will Wheaton.
You keep doing this, man. You get 3 episodes in a row now.
I am sorry. I'm rusty. Will Wheaton had a speaking line for the film, but it was cut. But you can see him in 2 scenes, which I did not notice. The star car that Centauri drives is based on a DeLorean. Shocking. There's a weird tech machine thing in one scene on the space station that is definitely a recurring prop in Star Trek Next Generation. It's like the weird tube thing with the lights in it. And all the visual effects were made from a Cray XMP computer. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else thrilling in here to talk about. But no, it's fine. There's nothing you have to worry about. Atari, actually, one more thing. Atari made a game based off of this film for the 5200 Super System, but it never got past prototype phases. However, copies of it do survive. It did get rebranded and revamped into a different game called Solaris for them. So
weird.
Yeah. They didn't, shockingly, have the tech to really pull off the game that you see him playing in the, anyway.
I'm glad you like this movie. I love this movie. The effects were always kind of chintzy looking.
Yeah.
This is a movie that's been talked about being remade for the last decade or so.
It sure has. You know, I found a lot of things talking about remaking it, but none have come to fruition.
No, and it's prime kind of movie you want to see remade.
Yeah.
Especially with good effects and a little more realistic storytelling. I think this would be a really, really fun movie.
I could actually see somebody like Disney taking this and doing a pretty good job with it.
Yeah.
You could also go in a much more serious direction, but I think this could be a really fun film.
I remembered it. I thought it was a bigger hit than that. 29 million sounded low to me. I mean, I know that's still a lot in 84, but I thought it was, for some reason, remembered it being bigger than that. But
I think it must have really come out when it was like on HBO or something, and people were watching it 1,000 times over. That might have been when.
Yeah, and 29 million on what we
15.
15. That's not a hit.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
they spent at least 15 million on promoting it.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I remember. This is one I've hesitated to rewatch. Yeah, I remember loving it, but I have not. I don't think I've rewatched it since maybe early 20s. I'm going. I don't know, man. But have you seen it recently?
yeah, I
Still
mean,
good?
I think it is a great kids movie.
It is a great kids movie. I think you'll enjoy
I'll
it.
check it out again.
It isn't boring. Like a lot of the problems with revisiting your childhood faves is they're boring or they're stupid or what. Like the acting is fun. There's some really fun, silly moments throughout that aren't stupid. It's not a stupid movie. And I think that really makes up for a lot. So
I also love the idea that the video game is a training thing for them to find starfighters.
Yes.
That they use that to go, oh, okay, this guy is clearly good enough to fly an actual starfighter.
Yep.
One of those
Very
weird little
Ender's Game.
One of those weird little teen fantasies of the arcade era.
For sure. Okay, I am going to go next. I'm putting 10 minutes on the buzzer, and I am talking about, from 1974, Phase 4.
In the next few moments, we will try to give you an impression of a new kind of film experience. If your curiosity is aroused, you are ready for Phase 4.
They're sending back my message.
What does it mean? This is no message. If there's an intelligence there, I want it to know there's an intelligence here. I believe that they'll move rather quickly into desert areas, taking over the countryside first, then laying siege to towns and cities. We have only one chance. Why don't they kill us? What do they want?
How do you fight a force that knows what your next move will be before you think of it?
Could find no budget or box office information on this. The Rotten Tomatoes critics have it at 53%, and the audience has it at 55%. It was directed by Saul Bass, who has 7 credits, all short films. This is his only feature, but he is mostly known for his amazing credit sequences for films such as The Man with the Golden Arm, North by Northwest, and Psycho. It is written by Mayo Simon, who has 14 credits, including Marooned, Future World, and 17 episodes of Man from Atlantis, which he created. And it is starring Nigel Davenport, who has 129 credits, including Peeping Tom, which I believe you spoke about, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The Mind of Mr. Soames, Chariots of Fire, and Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, still my favorite Tarzan movie. Also starring Michael Murphy, who has 114 credits, including MASH, the original movie, Count Yorga, Vampire, Shocker, and Batman Returns. And also starring Lynn Frederick, who has 30 credits, including Vampire Circus, Schizo, Voyage of the Damned, and Prisoner of Zenda.
Jeez.
You guys seen Phase 4?
No, but I played it Sif a couple years ago and I missed it, and I always kick myself for that.
You, Eric?
I don't think I have.
I after watching this, I would have liked to have seen it on a big screen.
Yeah.
There's some crazy stuff in here. Okay, so the movie starts out with this super creepy bunch of scenes that kind of reminded me of Prince of Darkness. It's shot just gorgeous. Lots of macroscopic lenses on ants and anthills and stuff, mixed with outer space photography and suns rising over planets and things like that, and really weird music. And it is just super eerie. After a mysterious cosmic event, two scientists, Lesko and Hubbs, set up a lab in a sealed dome in Arizona, and they begin to study all of this ant activity that they've been noticing, which includes the ants going on nocturnal destructive missions where they're wiping out entire farmsteads.
Whoa.
It seems that the ants are somehow undergoing rapid evolution, which is pretty crazy, but even crazier is the fact that all of these different species of ants, species that would normally be antagonistic towards each other, they're now working together to build these strange towers with perfect geometric designs. The photography in this is so amazing. It literally looks like these 6 or 7 types of ants have each sent a delegate, and they are communicating with each other.
Oh.
They like meet and sit in a circle, and their antennas start moving and their mandibles are moving. And
oh my God.
I'm sure that none of this is actually happening in the same scene, but it's edited so beautifully together that it looks like they're having a meeting, and you don't hear them make noises or anything like that. But the way it's shot is, you'll see the antenna move on one, and then it goes to a completely different type of ant, and its antennas move and its mandibles move, and it's like, okay, these guys are having a conversation, and it is very creepy.
Whoa.
So Lesko and Hubbs decide very quickly that whatever is going on with the ants, however fascinating it is, can only spell problems for the rest of the planet. They're seeing a big change already in the ecosystem because the ants aren't doing what they normally do, everything else is starting to fall apart around them, like insects. The crops are being, not the locusts and stuff are starting to attack those because they're not being eaten by ants, and all of this stuff because the ants have a plan. And they're just like, okay, this is fascinating, but we need to somehow stop them from doing this, right? On top of that, the ants are sending messages back and forth, and they end up immunizing themselves against the chemical spray that Lesko and Hubbs have.
Oh.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like little ant shots.
It's very creepy. They figured out that they're like communicating with each other. And on top of that, when the ants figure out that the humans have figured it out, they start coding their messages.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so at one point, it's just Lesko and Hubbs and this young woman, Kendra, that they have rescued from a farm that had just been overrun by ants. And they're basically trapped in this science dome while the ants are just now fucking with them. A few ants are able to get in. They end up sacrificing themselves to short out the scientists' computers. And again, it's this amazing footage of ants, like one ant crawling along a wire and then getting inside of a computer and doing these things that are probably not nefarious at all in real life, but it's creepy as hell when edited together with the right music and shots. Kendra has a moment where she wakes up and there is an ant, like, right on her pillow staring at her, and it's shot in this way that it looks like the ant is, talking to her almost, and she's receiving some kind of message. But she becomes convinced that her being there has enraged the ants. So she leaves the lab to apparently sacrifice herself.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Lesko and Hubbs are going a little nutty as they are decoding the ant messages and such, and Hubbs ends up getting bitten and eventually buried by the ants.
Ah.
Yeah. Finally, it's just Lesko left to try and save the world. Will he implement Hub's plan, which seemed to be just infiltrating the ant hive with a can of high-grade ant repellent to find the queen?
Ooh.
Or will he descend deeper into the hive and find Kendra in a very, very creepy moment that hints at the idea that the ants have already taken over the entire world and humans are already being integrated into an all-ant world?
Ooh.
Watch and find out. This is a movie that I saw way back in my teens, and I didn't think much of it, but I was also stupid and had bad taste. Watching it this time, it felt very much like it would fit in the Lovecraft Film Festival. It is cosmic horror. It is creepy. And many, many thanks to my friend Jennifer for suggesting this flick for Sci Fi September.
Nice.
Tagline: The day the earth was turned into a cemetery. Yeah, I didn't like it.
That's a little rough.
When you can't scream anymore.
Then
Phase
what?
4.
Oh, phase 4. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't love those taglines.
Sure.
What I really was surprised at is the opening credit sequence. The credits are not Saul Bass credits.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, but it's okay because it's all of this very, very cool, close photography of ants moving through anthills and stuff like that. It's so cool. A little bit of trivia. Linda Blair was considered for the role of Kendra. When she auditioned for the film, she impressed director Saul Bass and was asked back to several callbacks. She even went as far as doing a screen test for the part. The producers and director ultimately decided that she was too young. I like this. Plus, the film was also on a limited budget and could not afford her.
Wow.
So,
Oh, my.
at what point do you go, well, you're too young, but also we can't afford you?
Huh.
Interesting combination.
Why would you even talk to her if you can't afford her?
Yeah.
Weird. Weird.
The original ending of Phase 4 was a montage of surreal, haunting images that imply the possibility of the ants conquering mankind and ruling the earth. It hints that Phase 4 may be a kind of evolution wherein mankind is enslaved and the ants become their supreme rulers. Several of the eerie images allude to the art of Salvador Dali and René Magritte. Very shortly before release, Paramount cut much of this sequence, but apparently this footage still exists and has since been shown during special screenings of Phase 4, which probably happened.
Oh, man.
At
That,
SIFF.
yeah. Damn.
I will tell you, the ending still is very, very creepy and still hints that that mankind has already lost. Phase 4 was my movie. I loved it. I win.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great film. I don't know if a win is the word, but it sounds awesome.
You know what? Sitting across from you and Eric, I am a winner.
Right? We're all winners.
I mean,
'cause we get
compared to you
hang
guys,
out.
I have to be the winner.
Oh, no.
Nah.
No. It's Sci Fi September. We all win, okay?
I'm turning off the buzzer. I definitely won. Okay. So, well, we know that we're going into the next week of Sci Fi September.
That's right. Right now, we're going to start talking about 3. No, just kidding.
Sorry. So instead of picking a subgenre, we will take this time to say thanks to everybody who's liking and sharing the post, who's up there talking on the Strange Eons Radio talk page, which has gotten a lot of movement on it.
Yeah.
Super fun. For calling in and leaving us a message on the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266. And for participating in the value for value model, which is if you get any value out of this, turn around and give some value back.
Yep.
We love it.
Thank you.
Anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
I just can't wait for another week. I'm just so excited. Could we just do this the whole show? Sci-fi Strange Eons?
Well, the thing is, sci-fi is in the genre. If you can find whatever, that works. So we can always do sci-fi.
We're not exactly adverse to sci-fi.
I know. I'm just in a
All three
happy
of us.
place right now. That's all.
All right. Well, then how about we return in 7 short days and we will talk some more sci-fi. See you next Thursday. Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
It's so goddamn good.